Welcome back. This lesson is about adverb clauses. Basically, adverb clauses are in four categories. There's time, there's reason, there's contrast, and there's condition. Let me show you some of the time clauses that you will see in English. When he got home is an adverb clause. It gives you the time when he sent her an email. So when he got home, he sent her an email. You'll notice that inside this adverb clause, there is a marker, there is a subject, and there is a verb, because we know inside of any clause you must have a subject and a verb. Second example, I want to show you something before you go. This time my adverb clause, the time, I'm going to show you something when, I'm going to show you something before you go. So this tells you when I'm going to show you something. This time the adverb clause is at the end of the sentence, and you'll notice something different between the first sentence and the second sentence. In the first sentence, when my adverb clause was first and my independent clause was second, I need to have a comma after the adverb clause. But when the adverb clause is last, before you go, I do not need a comma between the independent clause and the adverb clause. Third example, he went to bed after he finished his homework. After he finished his homework, there's my adverb clause. I have a marker. He finished, my subject and my verb, and all of this tells you the time that he went to bed. When did he go to bed? He went to bed after he finished his homework. The next one, as soon as, means immediately when. As soon as. As soon as you make dinner, we can eat. Now you notice I have a comma here because my adverb clause was first. As soon as you make dinner, we can eat. She didn't talk to him until he apologized. Now the word until means up to that time. So not after that time, but up to that time. So first, he had to apologize, and as soon as he did, then she started to talk to him. So she didn't talk to him until he apologized. Notice there's no comma here because the adverb clause is on the end. Now I want to show you something a little unusual about adverb clauses. When they are future, and I'll just change some of these. When he, I'm going to make this present tense here. When he gets home, he will send, S-E-N-D, he will send her an email. When you have the future here, when he gets, yes indeed, I need an S on the end of that, don't I? When he gets home, present tense, he will send her an email. Now, even though all of this idea is happening in the future, you cannot use the future tense when you have a time clause, adverb clause. You can only use the simple present tense. You can't say, when he will get home. That's wrong. Or when he's going to get home. That's wrong. You have to say when he gets home and use just the simple present, even though this is a future idea, and you can see the future over in the independent part of the sentence right here. He will send her an email. Let's look at another one. He will go. I'm going to put he'll go. That will be future. He'll go to bed after he finishes his homework. So notice here I have simple present tense. Even though it's a future idea, he will go, I have the future over in my independent clause, but in my dependent adverb clause, I must only have simple present tense. That doesn't mean this is present, it means this future, and you can see it's future because it's future over here in the independent clause. But it is incorrect to use the future over here in your adverb clause. So after he finishes his homework. And another example, she won't talk to him. Won't, as you know, is will not. She won't talk to him, so this is going to be future right here, until he apologizes. So there's another future idea. And notice, in my adverb clause, I can only have the simple present tense. After he apologizes. She won't talk to him until he apologizes. Now, over here on this side of the board, I'm going to put some examples for reason. Okay, so such as, I went to bed early because I was tired. Tired. I was tired. Okay. I went to bed early because I was tired. So this is my adverb clause, because I was tired. Now you'll notice that the adverb clause comes second, so there is never a comma before because when it's in that part of the sentence. There are two markers for reasons. The other one is since. And let me talk about since just for a minute here. Let's say, since you are here, okay, since, I'm going to put that in red, I like red. Since you are here, let's go for coffee. So we're going to go down to our neighborhood coffee shop and have a cup of coffee. Since you are here, let's go for coffee. Now this is my adverb clause right at the beginning of the sentence, and that's why I have a comma after that before the independent clause. What is the difference between since and because? Well, normally in English speakers like to put because, the because clause at the end of the sentence, and the since clause at the beginning of a sentence. I don't know why, but that's just what like 80% of people do. If they're going to use the since word, meaning because, you're going to put that usually first in the sentence. And that means you're going to have a comma after that clause. So those are for reasons. Then we have contrast. Contrast, T-R-A-S. Contrast is like the opposite. You know, like when you say, he agreed to help me, but he was tired. I can take that word but and I can put it in the other part of the sentence and say, although he was tired, he agreed to help me. So let's look at that. Although he was tired, comma, he agreed to help me. So he was tired. Normally he would go home and watch TV, but he agreed to help me because he's one of my best friends. And he's a nice guy, so he agreed to help me. Now there is no difference between although and even though, except even though is two words and although is one word. Even though he was tired, so I can use both of those in this sentence. Even though he was tired, he agreed to help me. Although he was tired, he agreed to help me. So those are the contrast. And the last one is the conditions. And there are two of those. Conditions. Okay, conditions. Conditions is if. So I'm going to say, let's see, I will be here. I will be here if you need me. I will be here if you need me. Now notice here also, I will be is future, so just like the time clauses, you cannot use future in your if clause, just like a time clause. You have to use simple present tense, even though this is future here. I will be here if you will need me is wrong. I will be here if you are going to need me, that's wrong. I will be here if you need me. This must be simple present tense. The other word is unless. I will be here if. I should put the if actually in red so it stands out here. Unless is kind of an interesting word. I will be here. I can use actually the same sentence. I will be here. I'm going to write another sentence here. Unless. Unless is actually a negative if. I will be here unless you don't need me. I will be here unless you don't need me. So if you don't need me, I won't be here. I can go home and watch TV. So if and unless are the two conditional markers. There are more, of course. There's contrasting markers here, even though and although. There are two reason markers, because and since. And there are 5 time markers, when, before, after, as soon as, and until. So when you learn the vocabulary of those words, then you'll be able to learn how to do the adverb clauses for each and every one of those. Okay, so study this page, do the exercise at the end. Good studying. See you later. Bye.